Since I became an atheist about 6 years ago and started talking about my story and experiences online, one of the most common accusations I've received on a fairly regular basis is that I am a Satanist, a devil worshiper, and that I just wanted to live a life of sin and follow my father the devil. These accusations don't just come from crazy Bible code conspiracy nuts who see Monster energy drinks as satanic.
Look at your M closely. There's a gap right here in the letter M. It's never connected. So you go into Hebrew. The letter Vav is also the number 6. Short top, long tail. Short top, long tail. You could have here in Hebrew 666 on the can.
These accusations that I am a Satanist come from normal, everyday Christians, and as far as I know, some of my family might even think this, or at the very least think that I am a pawn of the devil. It would be really easy to just call them dumb, dismiss it, and respond with a meme like, "If I don't believe in your sky daddy, what makes you think that I believe in your basement troll?" Don't get me wrong, sometimes my frustration with this kind of repeated accusation gets the better of me, and I do fall to that level and retort accordingly. But I don't think that it's the most productive response, and I want to take a little bit of time to unpack my full answer. Why am I really not a Satanist? Well, find out right after this. The ironic thing about Satanists is that actual devil worshippers who genuinely believe in Satan from the Bible, almost without exception, aren't atheists. Because if you believe that the bad guy from the Bible exists, you probably believe that the good guy exists too. Although you might disagree on which one is good and which is evil. Even Christians know this intuitively and will quote verses like James 2:19. You believe that there's one God? Good, even demons believe that and shudder. But these Christians will follow their accusations with things like, "You're not really an atheist. You know deep down in your heart that God exists. You're just rebelling because you hate God." It's like they have this false dichotomy of you can either be a God-loving Christian or a God-hating Satanist, but are oblivious to the fact that some of us just really don't believe in either. I'm a naturalist. I don't believe in anything supernatural or paranormal. I think it's utterly unsubstantiated nonsense. And it's not like I haven't put myself out there. The one time that I tried a Ouija board, the one time that I tried a Ouija board, the planchette literally just sat there. I spent the night in an allegedly demon-possessed cabin. Nothing happened, and I slept like a rock. I've been to at least one haunted prison and multiple haunted houses, and even went to a cemetery in Mexico at midnight on the Day of the Dead.
Do you see all the ghost orbs?
I see all the bugs floating in front of my camera.
The bug ghosts?
Yeah, the ghosts of bugs past. Literally every one of those experiences was super chill and unremarkable. But before I rule out Satanism entirely, I could technically be a Satanist and believe in the symbolism of rebellion against oppressive authority while simultaneously not believing in God or the devil.
We're not what you think we are.
There are Satanists who, like me, don't believe in God or Satan, like at all. Whether it's the Levian Church of Satan founded in 1966 and its various offshoots, or the more modern Satanic Temple founded by Lucian Greaves.
Satanic Temple was an idea between a handful of people directly confronting authority.
They both tend to see Satan as more of a symbol of defiance, specifically against the more backwards aspects of Judeo-Christian religions.
We're not theistic, so we don't believe in a personal Satan, but it's still deeply meaningful to us, having grown up in Judeo-Christian culture. And this kind of socio-political counter-myth resonates for us in a way that's unique. Some of us came out of superstition ourselves and found it very liberating to be able to embrace the blasphemous, not just to offend other people, but to be liberated from superstition ourselves.
It can be a powerful and incredibly useful symbol, especially when fighting for the separation of church and state. For example, when Arkansas erected a giant Ten Commandments monument outside of the state capitol, many non-Christians felt that this was a breach of the separation of church and state. An Arkansas representative responded that they're not giving special favors to any particular religion because other religions were welcome to place their monuments there too. And they didn't expect a giant satanic statue of Baphomet to come rolling into their town to take them up on the offer. And in another case, when Oklahoma City fearfully refused to allow the statue next to their Ten Commandments monument, the case went all the way to the state Supreme Court, War, where the Ten Commandments were ordered taken down because they violated the First Amendment requirement for state governments to stay neutral on religious matters. So if I'm an atheist, I don't believe in God or Satan, I oppose pseudoscientific and socially harmful religious ideas, and I myself am rather defiant against the more backwards aspects of Judeo-Christian religions, as this channel has demonstrated, why do I not identify as a Satanist? Well, for starters, I don't really care for any kind of organized religion. But more than that, let's take a look at the values of LaVeyan Satanism first, and then we'll examine the Satanic Temple. When Anton LaVey founded the Church of Satan, he wrote out 11 core tenets in his Satanic Bible. The fact that there even are tenets kind of rubs me the wrong way. Sure, we need laws for society to operate smoothly, but those laws are amended over time, while religious laws tend to be a little more dogmatic. Most of the moral frameworks from centuries ago are seen as backwards and often barbaric by today's standards, because our morality evolves and improves as society progresses. We should be debating and improving our ethical frameworks through moral philosophy at a global scale conversation, not etching them in stone in dogmatic fashion. But let's take a look at them. Do not give opinions or advice unless you are asked. That's a stupid rule. Don't tell me what I can and can't say. If you're gonna do something harmful, I'm gonna call you out on it. You lost me at rule 1. But I'll go through the rest of these real quick. Do not tell your troubles to others unless you are sure that they want to hear them. When in another's lair, show him respect or else do not go there. A lair? What are we, goblins? If a guest in your lair annoys you, treat him cruelly and without mercy. Or how about be a bigger person and don't stoop to their level? Do not make sexual advances unless you are given the mating signal.
It's hard not to feel deflated when even your best isn't good enough.
Do not take that which does not belong to you unless it is a burden to the other person and he cries out to be relieved. Acknowledge the power of magic if you have employed it successfully to obtain your desires. If you deny the power of magic after having called upon it with success, you will lose all you have obtained. Yeah, that's straight up supernatural hogwash right there. Do not complain about anything to which you need not subject yourself. Do not harm little children. Okay. Do not kill non-human animals unless you are attacked or for your food. When walking in open territory, bother no one. If someone bothers you, ask him to stop. If he does not stop, destroy him. Like, this whole series feels like it was written by a troglodyte with the IQ of a potato trying desperately to be edgy. Compared to the Church of Satan, the tenets of the Satanic Temple are significantly better. And as I understand it, they were made incredibly vague deliberately so they can apply to a wide swath of circumstances across time. One should strive to act with compassion and empathy towards all creatures in accordance with reason. Sure, sounds good. The struggle for justice is an ongoing and necessary pursuit that should prevail over laws and institutions. Okay, in theory, but who determines what's just and not? On its own, this is incredibly incomplete and without guidance tends towards anarchy. One's body is inviolable, subject to one's own will alone. Good. The 10 Commandments could have used a clause like this, or at least said, don't get rapey. Now, one caveat, perhaps I'm misreading it, but what about scenarios where someone is a menace to society and needs to be locked up for crimes against humanity? The freedoms of others should be respected, including the freedom to offend. To willfully and unjustly encroach upon the freedoms of another is to forego one's own. I guess for the most part, I agree with this. Belief should conform to one's best scientific understanding of the world. One should take care never to distort scientific facts to fit one's beliefs. Again, this one is great in theory, but is a bit naive when it comes to cognitive psychology. Most people, including flat earthers and young earth creationists, genuinely think that their beliefs are conforming to the best scientific understanding of the world. They just suffer from logical fallacies and self-delusions like falling prey to confirmation bias and the backfire effect. People are fallible. If one makes a mistake, one should do one's best to rectify it and resolve any harm that might have been caused. Every tenet is a guiding principle designed to inspire nobility in action and thought. The spirit of compassion, wisdom, and justice should always prevail over the written or spoken word. I actually really like this last one because it helps safeguard against these principles being used dogmatically. On the face of it, most of these are fine. Even if you're a Christian, Muslim, or Jew, if you heard any of these tenets on its own without realizing that they were from the Satanic Temple, you'd probably have no issue with them whatsoever. But while I don't have any serious objections to these principles, and I respect the political spectacles the Satanic Temple engages in to advocate for religious equality, here's why I gravitate away from the Satanic Temple. They love spectacle. They love flair and have a knack for the theatric, going over the top with symbolic ceremonies involving satanic symbols, blood, fire, and nudity, representing a cognitive and sexual liberation from archaic repressive ideas. While they don't believe in a literal devil, they intentionally go over the top and reach for the shock value, because they know that Christians are terrified of Satan, a long-fanged enemy who prowls about like a roaring lion waiting to devour you. Hell, when I was a Christian, I was scared to death of the devil. The mere thought of Satan striking fear into the hearts of believers can be a powerful political tool, but my goal isn't to terrify. It's to connect. And while satanic imagery is shocking, it doesn't bring people closer together. It kind of shuts them off and throws up walls. Now, I don't fear the devil or hell any longer, but at least for now, I don't really have any need for picking up this mantle and adopting this approach. For too long, atheism has been considered a dirty word in a largely religious world where it bears negative connotations with either communism or Satanism. But I'm neither a communist nor a Satanist. I just don't believe in God. I'm a humanist. I care about humanity, human rights, and equality. I love technology and progress, and I think that we can all work together to make this shared world better. But when it comes right down to it, I'm just a normal guy, the kind of person you'd bump into at a museum or sit across from in the library, who you might go up against in bar trivia or grapple with at a martial arts tournament. I vote and pay my taxes. I don't dress provocatively. Well, I don't usually. And I work way too hard to drink anything but socially. And while I did actually legally smoke pot in California with the founder of the Satanic Temple once, I don't ever do hard drugs, although I don't judge people who do. I rarely cuss on my channel, and I don't even have any tattoos or piercings. My goal is to reach people. And if Satanism comes coupled with all of the baggage of the satanic panic and people's ideas of what it means based off of their religion, if it comes coupled with ideas and notions, false or not, of satanic ritual abuse, then those ideas are simply a hurdle and a stumbling block to get in the way of me being able to connect with people about stuff I'm passionate about, like science and how the world actually works and how we can tell if something is true or not. When I was religious, I saw videos by atheists like Aaron Ra, who I don't even think is a Satanist. I had a hard time hearing what he had to say because I couldn't get past the fact that he looked like everything that I had been warned against as a Christian. Was I wrong in my judgment? Absolutely. But leaving your faith is already hard, and it's easy to feel alone and scared. It can be incredibly powerful when you've been taught that atheism is just a bunch of Satanists who look what particular way, to realize that it's not that and that you were wrong about that stereotype. You start to question other things that you've been told about atheism. The demographic of people who identify as non-believers is the fastest growing in America. And if I can make that transition a little bit easier by shattering the stigma surrounding atheists, by normalizing it to the world, by showing that I'm just a normal atheist dude, then that's what I'm gonna do. If other atheists want to go all out over the top, I love y'all and support it 100%. Go for it. And who knows, maybe in a few years I'll be covered in tattoos and piercings, making theatrical political statements, and we'll look back at this video and laugh. But when it comes right down to it, I'm just a missionary kid who grew out of my faith. I love science, and like most people recently deconverting from their religion, I'm not doing it because I hate God, or I'm rebelling, or looking to make a statement. I just want to know what's true. If you found this video helpful and want to see more like it, I release regular content here on Holy Koolaid. I'm really hoping to be able to hire an assistant soon to help me get more content out, but I need your help. To help me reach that goal, please go to patreon.com/holykoolaid to make a per video pledge, or consider supporting me with a one-time donation on PayPal. If you don't like Patreon, I also have Subscribestar. Thank you so much for watching and for your ongoing support. It means the world to me. And as always, dare to be curious, but don't drink the Kool-Aid.
Even if the M was not the issue, you cannot deny that that is a cross. And what is witchcraft? When the cross goes upside down, bottoms up, and the devil laughs.